Welcome to the Qualified Gamer Guys podcast. I'm your host, Steve. With me, as always, Neil's dead, guys. He didn't make it. I couldn't even make it a second. You laughed.
I laughed. I thought you were going to be like, with me as always is Neil O'Connor.
No. Do you? Now your last name's out there. It's Neil O'Connor, everyone. Here he is.
You found me.
Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 18, which is crazy. We're legal. We can legally have sex with adult
with other podcasts out there.
Yes, come and get it. But age of consent was 16, so we've actually been here for a couple weeks. We're gonna talk about some video games today, not just borderline laws. No email this week, so once again, go fuck yourself. But we're gonna start with this week in video game release history. Infamous, May 26th, 2009 on the PS3. Yeah, I know I played this. Neil played it.
I played this too. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I really liked it. I love Sucker Punch because Sly Cooper, and then when I heard they weren't making another Sly Cooper, I was like really mad. Not really mad. I was like...
Neil was punching holes in walls.
Writing angry letters. I was all over the forums being like, how could they betray my trust? I didn't have any interest in this game until I played the demo.
Okay.
And then I thought it was like really fun and I had to get it, and then I absolutely loved it. I thought it had a shockingly good story that I did not expect.
Oh, shockingly.
Ah!
It's a pun because he's got electric powers.
And it's the Qualified Gamer Guys channel. Qualified Gamer Guys.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I played it. I didn't play 2, which I know that you said was much better, but
you didn't play 2?
I did not play 2. No, I started 2 when I got it as a PlayStation Plus game, and I got like an hour in. I was like, "Fuck this," and just stopped playing. I just wasn't feeling it.
I thought you were a huge Infamous fan. Like that's why I was shocked you, because you did play Second Son, right? Or did you never play that?
I played Second Son because it was one of the only things that was out for the PS4.
That's very true, and it was kind of disappointed. 2 was good, mainly because they kind of like tightened up the controls and all that, made the world a bit better.
It's New Orleans, right?
What?
It's set in New Orleans.
Yeah, like a fictional version of it, but it's essentially
like,
what it is.
It's like Le Marquis or something. It's
something like that, and it's cool story. Kind of make interesting side characters, more powers, whatnot. But it was just the ending was really, really cool, which I won't spoil, even though who knows how old that game is. But it's one of those endings that you basically, even telling it to you, you would be like, all right, whatever, that doesn't matter. But if you played the game, just the way it ends, you'd be like, okay, that's pretty powerful stuff. Oh, I should have said that's pretty electrifying stuff.
Well, Cole,
I'm messing up.
Cole dies, right?
In one ending.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
No, but yeah, in one ending he dies, but just the way they do it is kind of like this really climactic battle to this whole point where you basically have to like sacrifice yourself. And I don't know, it's just this cool thing if you actually play it.
If you played Second Son, you kind of catch on to the fact that Cole died. So
yeah, they do. They go off that ending that he died, which is technically the good ending. The bad ending is he more or less rules the world.
Ooh,
which is one way to go about it.
Pretty badass.
But the first Infamous, pretty great.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember it. I remember it coming out and playing it during the summer. What else? Wow, that was a good summer. Yeah. I think I might have lost my virginity that summer. No, I'm kidding. I kid. But we're joking.
That was 05.
That was 05. That was 13, Neil. In 05. Maybe you, because you're an old man.
I was a 14 then. I was a 14-year-old.
14 is that's a whole different story. But yeah, I mean, what's his friend's name? Is it Zeke?
Yeah.
I like him. He was my favorite character, the first one. And I just remember, like, I don't know. I never really... open world games, I know the same for you. They're kind of hit and miss for me. I guess I didn't join this one, so there's something to be said there.
That's, Infamous was going to be... I, made it this declaration at one point, this almighty statement to myself, basically, that it was going to be the first game I platinum. And then after seeing how many shards there were, because there's, 350 electric shards you have to collect. You have to collect.
Okay.
I gave up like immediately. I was like, this is the worst game ever.
I hate stuff like that. It's so stupid.
It's the worst. It's why I don't have more platinum trophies, because we talk about it all the time. Like, I refuse to do it for Assassin's Creed and whatnot.
Well, that's how I got Assassin's Creed 2. You have to collect all the goddamn flags, and then one day I was just like, I'm bored, I'll do it. But I just like looked up a guide and went around and did it, and that's not fun.
Yeah, it's like that's the whole thing. Like, it's not a fun thing to do. It's not hard to do either.
No, it's just
time consuming.
Yeah, but other than the blast shards, I remember this being a pretty easy platinum, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's considered an easy one because even the blast shards they're on your mini map, so like you can still find them if you're in the radius. So it's not like I had a lot of the other stuff done already, but I didn't feel like going over and collecting everything was kind of pointless.
You pretty much, to platinum this game, you just have to play it twice, pretty much.
Yeah, which I mean, I did because I just wanted to see both sides of the story. I always like when they have two sides of the story. I was let down in Second Son because there was almost no difference besides like a couple cutscenes, and even then they were like just short and didn't matter. But
did you play Second Son all the way through twice? Did you platinum that? I think you did, right?
I beat the game, I think twice in one weekend. And then the next weekend I platinumed it. Or maybe I beat it in one weekend, and then the next weekend I beat it the second time and platinumed it. Because that was like the easiest platinum ever.
Yeah, it was. I kind of burnt out on that game.
Yeah, I understand. I think it's a really fun game in general, but impressive for the PS4 at the time. Because there was nothing really else doing that well on it. Everything else was kind of having issues, but...
And it was like the first big first-party game.
Yeah, it was a game that people were really looking forward to.
So, anyway, but Infamous, the one that started it all, came out May 26, 2009. 6 years ago already, Neil. It's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
By the way, let's address the fact that we are, in fact, recording this on Wednesday, not Monday night like we normally do. We apologize, but the koalas were out, enjoying the holiday weekend, so we kind of were not able to get together before today, so... You guys will have to deal. Maybe if you sent us mail, we would.
That's what we were giving you a couple extra days for mail, and you failed.
You failed. Like, not even like a, hey, where are you guys? And Sir Caruso's not even proud of us anymore. We're going to head on to releases now. Because there's a lot of stuff coming out. There's actually one big thing I'm interested in, but the rest of it's pretty shitty.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Octodad, the Dadliest Catch. That's Dadliest.
Dadliest. Oh, man, look at me.
Octodad Dadliest Catch is coming to the Vita. So, I mean...
do you think it would even be fun on the Vita? Like, it would still be fun, but I guess, like...
It's a game that you want to play in front of a group of big people, like, where you can laugh at the absurdity of what's going on.
Big people.
Yeah. Yeah, big people. Not a big group of people, a group of big people. So go down. Find some obese people and have yourself a ball.
Because it wouldn't make sense to me to, like... Vita, I think, is like you're riding on public transportation or something like that. Like, you don't want to be playing Deadliest Catch.
Someone's gonna look over to you and be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Walking around as an octopus.
Yeah, like, I don't think they needed to put this on Vita, but maybe they're getting those 5 people that have a Vita and not another system that couldn't play this game.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, and then you got Ultra Street Fighter 4. Neil just wrote Ultra Street Fight 4.
I was literally doing this at work. I texted Steve. I was like, yeah, I'll get home and I'll do the rundown. I'm like, who am I kidding? I'm just going to do it now while I'm at work.
Ultra Street Fight 4. Yes, Ultra Street Fighter 4 came to the PS4 yesterday, or today. No, it's yesterday. I'm all confused when I get Mondays off, Like, it's Wednesday, but I feel like it's Tuesday.
Such a nice feeling, though.
Yeah, it is. It is
so close to the weekend already.
I know. So we'll not be playing that.
Yeah, no interest in it. But I guess big news in that is that apparently some important good joysticks are going to work on the PS4 that people were worried about. So everyone's really happy and excited about that.
Yeah, and with Street Fighter V being a PS4 exclusive, I guess it's good for them to bring 4 to the PS4 as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's one of those things that I know people are really excited about, but we just couldn't care at all.
We don't give a rat's ass. Then coming to the Wii U, you got Don't Starve Giant Edition. Okay.
Don't Starve, fun game.
Yeah, It is a great game. Me and Neil got addicted to that for about a week when it came out. I think that was January's free game, the first year of the PS4. Yeah, that's right. Because I was on winter break. Neil had just graduated, so we had a lot of free time. And there was one day where we played, I think for 8 hours straight.
It was a long day where we were just...
You can't play together. We were just playing at the same time and doing a party chat and just discussing what was going on in our worlds. And I made it through. I made it a full year one. I made it to day 40, which is a full seasons. Did you ever do that, Neil?
I made it through the winter once, but I didn't last that long into spring.
Okay.
I think I got to the summer and then like I ran out of food or something happened where I definitely made it through the winter, but I did not make it all the way back around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard. It is a hard game. It takes a lot of perseverance and a lot of luck, to be honest.
It all depends on the world you're spawned in,
Yep.
what you spawn near, stuff like that.
It's fun. I remember, like, on that run that I actually made it all 40 days, I actually knew where, like, everything was on the map. And it was pretty fun to actually, like, be able to kill the things that come after you, too. So that, I mean, if you haven't played that and you only have a Wii U, that's a good item to pick up. Speaking of, if you have a Wii U, there's a Humble, and a 3DS, or a 3DS, there's a Humble bundle going on right now. For Wii U and 3DS, so head over to humblebundle.com. There are a bunch of indie games, but you can name your price to get 4 of them, and just put in like a cent if you want. But it's going to charity, so put in more if you'd like to be charitable, and you'll get some games for it. And I forget what is in the lowest tier, but there's some interesting stuff in there.
Guacamelei's in it. I know that
Yeah,
one at least,
Guacamelee.
which people love.
Uh-huh. I know Mighty Strike Force is one for the 3DS, which is like one of the highest rated indie games for 3DS. So if you're interested, check that out. Speaking of Nintendo, Nintendo's new IP Splatoon comes out on Friday, and one koala is pretty excited about it. That'd be me. I can't wait, Neil.
You've been waiting for this game for so long, and you haven't played any of the beta tests or anything,
No, because
right?
I'm always away when they're on.
And
So, I haven't played it. I've been waiting for this game. When they announced this last E3, I got so excited. I was like, this looks like so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And then they originally came out like, oh, this will be out in January. I'm like, awesome, January. And it got kicked all the way to May. But here we are, Neil, 2 days away from the release, and I'm so ready for it. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I have not cared at all about this game, mainly because I don't have a Wii U. And
That'll
I don't plan
do
on
it.
getting one.
That'll do it, yes.
But as I've been seeing more gameplay about it and just more people talking about it, it looks like a really fun game. It looks like a game that I would absolutely get if I had a Wii U, without hesitation, because it looks like that quirky but really fun and addicting game.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you thinking about all the... Because the embargo released today,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a bunch of reviews going up, and you were talking about how they're all mixed. And from what I could read, it basically is like the gameplay is really fun. It's a lot of fun to play with other people, even if it's annoying that you have to get on Skype. But it's still a fun thing to do. But the main issues are, like, I guess it has long loading times, and you can't customize your person during the loading screens.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's all these little things about it that I guess are bothering people. But overall, even when I'm reading, like, I guess I'll classify them as negative reviews, it still sounds like a fun game to me.
Every review I read says that the game itself is fun, which is what I'm really excited about. And I was actually pleasantly surprised reading the reviews today that the single player seems to be a lot of fun too, because they kind of like were saying, oh, like as an afterthought, we're going to put in like a single player campaign. But apparently it's very like imaginative and like the old Nintendo style of like each level is like here's like a really simple concept. Now here it's a little more complex. Then here there's a little more complex. And then at the end you're doing like 3 things at once using that one concept. So the single player actually, a lot of people have said has been really enjoyable. And it clocks in at 10 hours, which no one even expect it. And it has like each has a boss battle, and you have to. The boss is like a classic Nintendo boss, where it's like you have to learn out the puzzle of its attacks and all that stuff. So I'm actually really excited for it. I know they have all the issues with the loading and all that, but I'm excited that they have already said, listen, this game's launching with 3 game modes and 5 maps, but by September, you're going to get 5 more maps and 3 more game modes. So I like
Wow.
that they're already kind of like, all right, yeah, we'll be supporting this. So
Yeah, that's really cool. I had no idea. I haven't heard a single thing about the campaign until today. Like I didn't even cross my mind. I assumed it had something, but it was all multiplayer focused. So it is cool to read all these reviews and stuff saying,
yeah, it's and everyone was afraid like it's going to be a Titanfall campaign where it's just like
yeah,
you're in like a room with bots, but no, like it's like 20 levels. Each level is like 45 minutes or so, and they're all tailored specifically to one weapon and to like one gameplay mechanic that you don't find in multiplayer. So it seems pretty interesting. One example that they were saying is like there's these platforms that are sponges, and when you shoot them, they fill with paint, so they expand. And then, like, so you can jump on them to get from place to place. But then there's guys shooting water at you, and when the water hits them, they compress again. So, like, you're trying to, like, shoot the one that you're about to hop on, land on it, and get off of it before someone hits it with water. And, like, it starts really easy, but at the end, you're dodging, like, 50, like, water shots from all different directions, stuff like that. So, it did sound pretty interesting and pretty cool. So, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, single player is nice, but I am really, really looking forward to the multiplayer. I think it's a really cool idea and a great use of the gamepad. So
yeah, I agree completely with all that. And it's interesting with how people always talk about how multiplayer is the main component of gaming, and every game needs a multiplayer. But we're seeing with games like Titanfall that it's like, no, we still want a single player, even if it's only a couple hours. People really like that, so it's cool to see Splatoon do that. And then you mentioned the gamepad. I think was it last year or 2 years ago when everyone was all about the smart screens, and like every game was going to have like you could open up your app and you could totally like do something with the app with it or something. And this is like exactly what you want out of it. You want to be able to glance down, see a map, get the picture in less than a second, and then look back up at your TV.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't wait for you to play it. Hopefully by the next podcast you'll get to play it a little bit, and then you can talk about it more in depth.
I'm hoping as well. I'm not sure what my plans are this weekend, but it's my brother's bachelor party, so I'm not sure at what point I'll be able to sit down.
It's a party game. You got to bring it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring it. That's a good point. So yeah, I'll be playing it. I'm really, I can't wait. I really am excited. I haven't been this excited for a new IP in a while. And like, obviously, I love Bloodborne, which counts as a new IP, but I wasn't excited for that. I bought that, so I'm excited. Okay. Now, we kind of just, like, moved on to the news from there, but this is the official start of the news section. So we talked about Splatoon. And speaking of games, we have Until Dawn came out, and they said, hey, listen, we're going to release August 25th, and that's the PS4 exclusive Until Dawn. This is the, like, horror game, right?
It's the horror game that once again claims your decisions matter to the extent that if a character dies, the game will just keep going, and that character is then out. And I think it's possible to save every character and lose every character.
Huh.
And it's looks like a very interactive game.
It's supposed to be like a tropey, like not a murder, like horror movie though, like High School Kids, right?
Yeah, it. I've never watched Cabin in the Woods, but that's what it looks like. It's a bunch of kids. I'm going to say college kids go on like spring break or something.
College.
Something like that in a cabin.
Hey, we're 18. We can. Hey, let's go to college.
And so they go to some cabin, and I don't think it's haunted. It looks like serial killers, like other people are after them. And there's a lot of trailers out there to watch, and some of them it looks pretty intense. I'll say at least. I can't say for sure if it'll be terrifying.
They're camping in the woods. Of course, it's going to be intense. Hey!
But the whole point is, it's another game that's trying to say it's more interactive, more story focused. Graphics look incredible.
Of course.
Decisions matter. Again, it could be, who knows how it actually turn out. People are interested in the game because I think
I'm interested.
I could be wrong, but I think they announced it a long time ago.
Okay.
And then it kind of like went off the radar and no one talked about it. And then they randomly last E3 they brought it back. It was like, hey, no, this is still in development. It's going to come out this year or whatever.
That's exactly what happened because they announced it a long time ago, and I think it was 2012, and then like it just fell off the map or whatever, and everyone's like, oh, I guess it's canceled. Then it was last GDC that they released the trailer and said, hey, we live. So it's good to see. It's an original idea. So a new IP, Neil. We were just talking about new IPs.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play this one because I'm a little baby. But I look forward to watching Let's Plays of it because that's what I do with all the scary games.
Watch my Let's Play of it because I'm playing this game.
Could I watch it on a Twitch channel called Koalafied Gamer Guys?
Probably, unless by then I've broken off and made my own thing called Kangaroo Gamer Guys. Duh. That was terrible. I'm sorry.
God.
All right. So that's good that that release date. The box art. Did you see the box art? It's really cool looking.
I haven't actually, no.
Well, you should check it out.
I'll do just that.
Yeah, well, I thought it was cool, but
I imagine it's a girl screaming.
It's creepy.
Okay.
No, it's not a girl screaming.
Every trailer has the girl in the towel running down the hallway.
Ooh, yeah. Hey, we're 18.
For the whole podcast, this is going to come up.
In the most important news, there was a second trailer for Adam Sandler's Pixels.
Have you watched it?
No, I refuse to. I'm actually shunning this movie because of just the shit that it's gonna bring. Of just like, oh, this is what gamers are like.
Yeah. That's why it's funny because no one.
Why is it funny, Neil? There's nothing funny about it.
I guess I should say it's ironic because it's clearly targeted at gamers. People who don't care about video games aren't going to care about this movie. If they like Adam Sandler, whatever, they'll probably see it. And people who love video games hate this movie because of the way it portrays gamers.
There's people that like Adam Sandler?
Surprisingly, yes. I have a friend who sees every Adam Sandler movie that comes out.
Is his name Rob Schneider?
No.
Because that's the only explanation.
She sees every one, and every time she texts me when she leaves it too, she goes, "That movie was awful. What happened?" I go, "It's been like that for years."
Yeah. His last movie I think I enjoyed was like Billy Madison when I was a kid.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore was pretty much topped out for me. Did you know the love interest in Happy Gilmore is the mom in Modern Family?
Real? Oh yeah.
Crazy, right?
She looks better now.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Ooh, she looks better now. Hey, we're 18. So, I refuse to see Pixels. I refuse to even watch a trailer for Pixels because you know why, Neil? Fuck Pixels.
It looks awful.
If I was allowed to do that on YouTube, this would be Qualified Gamers episode 18. Fuck Pixels.
It's gonna be episode 18. We're 18.
Hey, we're 18. Alright. Need for Speed reboot coming. This is exciting. I love Need for Speed. I platinumed Need for Speed. So did Neil, actually.
You platinumed together. It was adorable.
Almost at the same time. It was like when, you simultaneously orgasm with your partner.
It was just like that, except Steve had to go first.
Because we're 18, so we know all that now.
Oh my god. So the point of this is going to be a reboot, and it looks like it's going to be one of the Need for Speed Undergrounds, which is my favorite Need for Speed back in the PS2.
Me too. I'm a big Underground guy.
Yeah, you are Underground.
Oh, I am Underground.
I don't even know what that means. But we are 18. But the
I
point is that
18.
It's going to be... Everyone's getting excited about this game. Need for Speed comes out every year, every other year. People don't care sometimes.
I care.
Sometimes people are excited, like, oh, Need for Speed, this is going to be the one. But it looks like this is going to be the one.
This is the one.
So I'm excited for it, too. I'll probably get it, honestly. I haven't had a good racing game in a while.
Well, I'm excited because then I'll get it. And you know what, Neil? We'll platinum it!
Hopefully.
I hope so. Yeah, so that's exciting. Especially because it's most likely Underground, because that was the best.
Yeah. That's what it's looking like, at least.
I used to play Underground online, and it was so much fun because the entire thing was just like making a really cool car and bringing it online, and then you would just like not race and look at each other's cars.
Was that really all you could do?
No, you could race, but no one would race. They just like look at each other's cars and be like, "Oh man, nice car. Oh yeah, it looks good, man.
Dude,
That's pretty much the
that's
intent.
what this is gonna be.
Yep, I know.
I'm excited. That had like the greatest customization and was so much fun. And like there was like street races and drifting and like it was so much fun.
Yeah, baby. And grinding.
So much grinding.
Speaking of grinding, there's a new Tony Hawk coming out. That's not in the news. We talked about it already, but I just want to let everyone know.
I was gonna say I think we did talk about that already.
Games are coming back, Neil. You got Underground. You got Tony Hawk, which was also underground a couple times.
It was.
You know what this means? There's a new Steam World coming up. Isn't there? There is a new Steam World, right?
Steam World. What's Steam World? Steam World Dig?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm thinking Spelunky. That's the one you
Spelunky.
like.
I was gonna say because I don't care about Steam World Dig. Spelunky. You got me all excited about Spelunky.
Neil's
Violet Rainbows knows some Spelunky. That's where he's from.
Neil's a little randy about it. Yeah, Violent Rainbows does like Spelunky. I wonder if Violent Rainbows is still around. Anyway, okay. So we got more news about what the hell is this, Neil? More news about Final Fantasy. Is this an announcement of an announcement?
People need to know. But
all right, guys, tune in for June 5th because you're getting some news about Final Fantasy 15.
Well, here's the cool thing that the reason why I wanted to mention this is basically the director, who I always forget his name. Usually, Square Enix is very closed off, and they don't talk about their games basically, except very official press releases. He's having like almost every couple weeks, every few weeks, he just sits down and just
every now and then.
Just every now and then he sits down and he just talks about what he's doing, and so it's like a constant update with the game. And these are always live. You can always watch them live, but only if you speak Japanese, it's going to matter. But it's really cool. I just like the concept and the thought that that's what he's doing. He's not all closed off. He's literally just sitting down, answering questions, talking about it. He reads comments. He listens to this podcast, is what I'm basically saying, and he's listening to me right now.
Yep. Of course he does, man.
And so that's why, I don't know, it's a good thing to go to.
Oh, Jesus.
You're right, because it's an announcement of announcement, but it's a cool thing that I want more people to do, basically. That's my little rant for the day.
Well... Until
I get to Witcher 3, and then I'm really going to rant. Just wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm buffering in a bunch of time for that. So, in a couple of why do people do this news, we got a guy who beat Bloodborne, and he never healed, which I think is insane. How is that even possible?
I don't know. I know that he said at one point, like, one boss took him, like, 20 hours of practice to, like, never get hit. Because he doesn't... I don't think he puts any... There's no point in putting any skills into Vitality. So it's always, like, one-hit kills by the end of the game.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I wonder if never heals, actually. Because every time you go back to the Hunter Dream, you do heal.
Yeah, I know.
But it's still... Basically, no blood vials is what it means.
Which is so, like...
Which is insane.
How?
I don't know. But, I mean, at the same time...
His defense must have been so high.
He just said he had to memorize every single boss move. Like, every single one. And then he talked about, like... Not saying this is not hard to do at all. This is insane. But we've seen proof of this. Or when, like... For example, when you were fighting the final boss, and you died over and over and over again, and the last time you beat him... Didn't you have, like, 14 blood vials left?
Mm-hmm, I did.
So it's one of those things that, like, clearly if you multiply that by, like, 10 times the amount of tries, probably 100 tries, I would say, then it's possible, but it's insane, and who would ever want to do it?
It's true. I mean, good for him, but that's just insane, man. I can't believe that. Having played Bloodborne and cried about Bloodborne and just everything about Bloodborne, I can't believe that. But
I think it's really funny that I can't pronounce his name. Nebris or Abritis.
Ebritas or
something like that. You know the boss I'm talking about. It's a boss that's underneath the church. He was supposedly like the hardest boss in the game, one of them, not counting the Chalice dungeon bosses. And Steve beat him on his first try.
I did.
Which I think is pretty funny. Because you were like, oh yeah, the two bosses in the temple are super easy, and it turns out one is the hardest in the game.
I thought they were so easy. Well, first of all, the one before it is like literally a joke. Like
it really is.
Such a joke. But yeah, I thought this was easy. I just stayed really close to her. and didn't let her like swipe down. And then she does that body slam move, but I figured like once I saw that coming, I would just leave. So
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Because when I first fought her, I got it all the way down to like typical like 2 slashes. She would have died, and then she killed me. And the next 2 battles, she just crushed me because she never like she was always just doing that like flying swipe move or whatever. And then I finally beat her because if you can get her a parry or a visceral attack and she falls down, you can get like half her health away before she stands back up.
yeah, that's a big deal. I want to start. I might play that tonight and get back into it and try and beat the cleric boss and stuff.
Dude, beating the cleric boss,
The cleric beast.
cleric beast, it feels so good to beat him on the first try and be like, that wasn't even difficult.
I love when stuff feels good to beat.
I can't believe I lost to Father G twice on my second playthrough.
Hey Neil, remember that time that you never beat the Canehurst boss?
Yeah, I got to get back to that. I got to beat him.
Well, you never did it, so I mean,
And he's super easy. I watched other gameplay on him. Every time he flies in the air and he like swoops down, that entire time he's swooping down, which is probably at least 2 seconds, you can visceral attack him. You can just shoot him. So once you get him to that phase, it's super easy. I just fell off the roof the 3rd time and didn't feel like going back.
you rage quit it. Let's be honest.
And then I went and beat the boss in like the 2nd try. So I was like, I didn't think was going to happen. I did not think I was going to beat the final boss.
Okay, but more importantly, Luigi is playing Super Smash Brothers. This is for the Wii, correct?
Yes,
the Wii U?
I believe so.
And he was able to win a bunch of matches against level 9 opponents by doing absolutely nothing, which seems to be a theme because he also won Mario Party doing nothing a couple years ago. So
I think it's so funny. If you watch some of the videos, like it's the computers are so dumb, and obviously it's like they're just being dumb, but it's so great when they just go like the first 15 seconds they'll just be demolishing Luigi, and then they'll just do one attack and just fly off the screen and die, and he just wins.
I think it's so funny.
It's just because it's Luigi. It just makes it better that it's Luigi.
Luigi! Yeah, Luigi's hysterical. One of my favorite Luigi things is that thing I sold to you. That I showed to you. I sold Neil this.
Oh, yeah.
The box art where he's just like way in the back. Like, no one gives a fuck.
Everyone is like up front, center,
everyone's up front.
clear.
I think
He's
it's
way in the...
Mario Kart 8's box art. Luigi's like in a tower in the back, like doing nothing. It's pretty funny.
It's perfectly describes Luigi.
And last but not least, the PlayStation Plus June games were announced today, kind of out of nowhere because they usually come out the Thursday before. But we're not complaining.
Usually they're super late, and we're just wondering.
We didn't even discuss them. We weren't like, hey, like, what do you think? Next month. But anyway, so this year, I almost said year and week. Both those are wrong. This month. For the PS4, you'll be getting Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which is pretty exciting. And also is a huge FU to anyone who bought that demo.
Basically.
You'll also be getting Skulls of the Shogun Bonafide Edition, which is a tactical RPG. You'll also be if you're on the Vita or the PS4, you'll be getting Super Exploding Zoo, which sounds like a great game. For the Vita and the PS4, you'll be getting Futuridium EP Deluxe, which is like the most, hey, this game's indie name ever. Futuridium EP Deluxe, which is a psychedelic retro-inspired shooter with crazy action, puzzle elements, and a bumping electric soundtrack. May or may not induce random dance parties. Hey-o!
Oh, man.
We're 18. Then on the PS3, if you're still a peasant playing the PS3, you get Call of Juarez, Gunslinger, and Cloudberry Kingdom. Let me tell you about Cloudberry Kingdom. The dev team behind this insane... I'm going to say this like they would. The dev team between this insane 2D platformer spent 2 years building an AI that could build a near infinite number of levels for any difficulty. It looks totally banana cakes. It says, no joke, it says, it looks totally banana cakes. Good luck with that.
Oh man.
So Cloudberry Kingdom seems like the worst thing ever.
It actually, if you watch gameplay and you play it with friends, it's actually really fun.
You played it?
I have not. I shouldn't say that, I guess, but it's one of those games that everyone says by yourself. It's just frustrating and annoying, but with other people, it becomes one of the funnest games.
Is it because it's banana cake?
It probably is. It has to do with some cakes and bananas, I'd say.
What a dumb thing.
Yeah, that's probably the worst description I've ever seen in my life. I've ever heard in my life, because I've not seen it.
Well, if you go to the PlayStation blog, you can see it for yourself. All right, Neil, let me say what I've been playing. That you've been playing something pretty intense. And you have actually Life is Strange to talk about, too. So I have been playing Call of Duty and Hearthstone. So now
don't forget Unfinished Swan. I want to hear about that.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot, because I beat that in a day, so it's just, like, over and out. Yeah, I played Unfinished Swan for the PS4. It was a free game for May. I beat it in about 2.5 hours. I loved it. I really did. I liked it a lot. It feels like the kind of game like Flower, where like if I'm ever like stressed out, I'll just like re-download it and just play through it because it's really relaxing and good. The music is incredible. Some of the gameplay mechanics are really, really cool. I don't want to spoil anything. Obviously, the game's been out for a while, but I know Neil wants to play it in its entirety. But the story is very good.
Really?
The story is very touching if you read into the symbolism of what's actually going on as you're doing these like mundane quests. The story itself is that your little boy called Monroe, he's been sent to an orphanage, and your mother was a painter, and you're only allowed to take one of her paintings, but all the paintings were never finished. So you took the unfinished swan painting.
Heyo.
Exactly. Hey, it's the title. That's like in the movie when they say the title, you're like, ooh.
Oh.
So then you go to bed that night, your first night in the orphanage, and you see the paintings glowing. You walk into the painting, and you get this whole backstory.
Naturally.
Of a king and the queen, and you're following the unfinished swan, and you find out, that the queen is your mother, and it's all about the story of your upbringing and all that. So it's pretty touching. It's pretty well done. The music's incredible. The sound design is so cool, and like just the main gameplay mechanic is just throwing balls of paint or water, depending on which level you're in. So it's just it's really cool. It's got a really sharp aesthetic to it too. So I recommend it if you haven't played it. If you have a PS4, you have 4 days to grab it. It's still free for 4 more days.
Yeah, I totally want to play it. I just haven't yet, but I started it and it's really fun. I got a little carried away in the beginning where I painted everything so I couldn't see. Because if you go too far and you paint everything black, then you can't see either. Yep. And so I like that thought. What?
Not to spoil anything, but what you do early in the game does eventually play into the end, so keep that in mind.
Oh boy. Yeah, so because I went a little crazy with it and I got lost and I finally stumbled my way through. So now I'm like careful with what I do, but
hey, so you played the beginning. Do you know that one of the trophies in that game is to make it through the first chapter without throwing more than 3 paintballs? But like the whole first chapter is just white.
I don't. That's for people like who beat Bloodborne without using blood vials. That's
insane. I think it's only a bronze trophy too.
Wow, that should be a platinum trophy itself.
Yep, that's what I think too. Right, so I played that, which is really fun. It's a good little like 1-day game if you're looking for something to tie you over. I've been playing.
Would you buy it if it wasn't free?
No, I don't think
too short.
It's too short, yeah, and I think it's still listed at $15.
Wow, that's a little high.
The Witcher. Jokes. I've been playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the newest map pack, a little multiplayer. Been playing Uplink, which has been fun. I mean, I don't have to talk about that. It came out 6 months ago. I've been playing Hearthstone. Still, nothing really to report there. Just been doing some arena ladder stuff like that.
Just some OP mages you hate.
Fucking OP mages, man. I hate mages.
I must get a rant from Steve. Just a random text at least once a day of him just complaining about something in Hearthstone. And I just let it go, and he'll just break down what happened without me saying a word. He'll just like go, "This sucks, man. I hate this game," and then you'll play it for like.
I play it for like maybe 2 or 3 hours a day.
It's so addicting.
All right, Neil, tell us about what we all want to hear about. Life is Strange episode 3.
Life is Strange episode 3 is the game that I have become obsessed with in the past week.
Yes, you can't think of anything else.
Basically, nothing has changed, though. Reviews have really liked this episode for the fact that usually episode 3 and 4, I think I said this to Steve too, that they usually get a little boring because they're basically setting up for the ending, so they start doing this whole like plot and character development to push towards a big climactic ending.
I hate plot.
But so, and you still do mundane tasks, but basically it's the ending has this really powerful, impactful twist, essentially, and it comes out of nowhere. Not the twist, but just the whole way the game ends. Like you just left turn out of nowhere, Steve, and people love it, and I played it and I loved it, but there's no point in really talking about it because I'm not going to spoil it, and we all know what it is, and we all are waiting for me to really just talk about The Witcher 3. This is the podcast.
Tell me about it.
So this is the new. I was going to say this is going to be the new section of the podcast Steve doesn't know about, where it's called "Convince Steve to Get Witcher 3," which is not going to happen. But basically, this is a game that I never played the first Witcher or the second one, and I didn't care about this one at all until probably 2 weeks ago. And then I randomly got super hyped about it and would not shut up about it. Probably every day I talked about it. Don't know why. Don't know how I got so hooked into this game. Hooked enough where I pre-ordered on Amazon and then bought the collector's edition guide because it comes with another book. It's like a 500-page hardcover book that then comes with a 100-page hardcover book that just talks about all the setting, characters, and history. Like, it's, I don't know. And so I got super into it, and when I first started playing it, my main fear, along with Steve has also said this before, that the combat has always worried me about the first two Witcher games. The whole thought is that it looks slow. It looks basically like you just hit the square button over and over again, and you just kill whatever is around. And at first, I liked it. I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't... I know people love it, and I didn't. And it's mainly because when you're so low level, you basically... The only things you can do is, like, dodge and attack. And since I also was really bad at the game, like, eat random enemies that shouldn't be hard to kill was taking a long time, because I just kept, like, dodging and dodging and blocking and blocking. I could never, like, attack them. And now I get, like, I'm better at countering and stuff like that. So it's kind of like Bloodborne. Remember how, like, when you first start, everything kills you. You can't get through an area. Then by the end of it, you're running through without ever dying. It was kind of like that in the beginning. But once you start leveling up, which I want to talk about too, because I think it's a cool system. When you level up and when you get abilities.
Can I interject right here and ask a question? Can you read anything that's on the menus, or are you just like I hear that the menus are like really small font.
The menus are very small, and it didn't bother basically PC players, I think, because they're so close to the screen anyways. And it didn't bother me because legitimately my TV is so big that the text is big enough. And then I moved it to another TV with just smaller, and then it was like impossible. So it is. It's subtitles are fine. It's descriptions of items, which the inventory system is a mess. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it works for PC because you can just scroll your mouse over it, but they basically pile everything into like 4 or 5 categories when it should be like 10 categories. Because usable items ranges everything from like potions to food to just like oils, and there's all this stuff in it. All like there's books that you read and notes and quests, and that's all in one section. And it kind of puts new stuff at the top for a little while, and then it kind of sorts itself somewhere throughout the rest of it. So you have to go and find it. And since the inventory is so big, it actually slows the loading. Like, that's one of the times that like it takes a long time to load is in your inventory system. Not a long time, like a second. But it's enough if you were trying to like scroll down and you had to wait like a second. So that's annoying. The inventory system really bothers me. But back to the leveling up, which is really cool. Or the combat, it gets better once you unlock abilities. Because then you start kind of making your player the way you want them. And there's a lot of ways to make it. There's a lot of ways to make a guy. Like, in Bloodborne, there was basically... You had a couple stats, like strength, speed, health, like that. But then you could unlock other things that kind of made... Because you would always read about people who make these, like, special builds for the way they play. And The Witcher just takes that to the next level. And, for example, I unlocked an ability that for every piece of light armor I wear, I get 25% bonus critical hit damage. And so... So now I always wear light armor. And then I also level up another skill that increases the chance of getting a critical hit attack. And I have weapons that all increase that. So no, I base everything off of getting critical hits and just capitalizing on those moments, when other people would focus more on, like, let's say potions that would then give them special abilities during the fight and they would last longer. Like if I use a potion, it doesn't last that long. And other people focus on magic, so like they have really powerful magic spells. And so there's all these mixtures and combinations, and I'm just getting into that. And once I started getting into those abilities, the combat got a lot better and it basically became faster, and it's still fun. Like you can definitely not just mash the square button over and over, because if you do, then you're going to die. Like, so it's not just a button masher, but it has its issues. You're kind of fighting the camera a lot, which gets annoying, because you can lock on to people, but then it does that annoying thing where like it zooms all the way into like your back, so you can't see what's going on. So if you don't lock on, then the camera doesn't turn to them. So it's annoying things like that. The other annoying thing has to be when you're not in combat, it can be pretty clunky, which isn't the end of the world, because again, you're not fighting, you're not going to die or anything. But when you're trying to walk around like in a house, just trying to pick things up, you're just bumping into everything. You can't like. It's the thing where like if you look in one way and you want to turn left, if you hit it once, the character will turn, and then you have to hit it again to move, instead of just hitting left, and he'll move left at the same time. So it's like this awkward like pausing and going and stuff like that. So there's awkward interactions in that way because it's trying to be really fluid. So that part sucks, because it's like that's kind of what I do. I keep comparing it to Bloodborne, but Bloodborne had that really twitchy movement. Like you see the people who just like spin really quickly in circles. Like you wouldn't be able to do that in this game because he tries to react with everything, which slows it down a lot. But you get over it as long as the fighting's fine, that's fresh and everything. I won't rant that much more about it because I could talk forever about this, but I'd have to say that this is probably the best world I've ever played in any video game, like hands down.
Best world.
Like,
really? Better than Bloodborne's world.
Better than Blood. Like I'm talking strictly aesthetics and graphics.
Okay.
And I can like the lore and stuff is all really good because it's based off actual novels that are very popular and stuff like that. But the world itself, like people are always like, "Oh, I totally get lost in this video game when I play it," and it's like all cliche. Like I really get lost in this video game. You'll just be walking in the woods at night, and like all the wind will just be bending the trees, and you just hear all the branches like cracking, and there'll be like thunder in the distance. And just the weather effects are amazing. The world design itself is incredible. Graphics are amazing, even if they were downgraded or whatever from a trailer a couple of years ago. I haven't noticed at all. All that stuff's incredible to me. It's really one of those games where it has a day-night cycle, and different monsters come out at night than versus day. And so, like, let's say, like, one quest, I had to wait until like midnight, so like, but that's when the person was the strongest, because they were like some like ghost thing. So I waited till after midnight, so like as the fight would go on, it would slowly become more in daytime, so I could see better and things like that. And then what they always talk about with The Witcher is all the questing, which is any open world game, but these easily have the best.
Yes, I'm aware of questing.
Questing's the thing. This easily has the best quests. Like you always talk about how Oblivion has like the best quests versus Skyrim. Like they're
side
more
quests.
Side quests. That's what I mean. Like they're more personable. You care about them more. They're not as much fetchy like that.
I love them, Neil.
That's basically what this is. Like every side quest has an amazing story behind it. Some of them are. They're not so much fetchy. They're not like fetch quests, but like let's say for example, I had to get this guy's sword back. You knew that like once I got to the first camp where the sword was supposed to be, it wasn't going to be there. It was going to be someplace else, and so that's kind of annoying. They'll have you running all over the place at times. But like,
yeah.
I totally you'll do things. You have to make decisions too on these quests that I have accidentally gotten so many people killed because I think I'm making the right decision. Like, I'm going to spoil this one quest. It's a side quest, so it's not the craziest thing. And it's not the biggest spoiler, but basically, like, you're in this tower and like this horrible experiments were going on kind of thing, and you meet this ghost, and this ghost is like, yeah, I was experimented on, I was killed. Well, she wasn't experimented on, but she was basically killed there. She was, and she just like wanted to die, but she was like cursing the place kind of. He's like, look, he's literally like, I'll bring your bones to your lover who's still alive. It's all about the bones, man. I'll bring your
bones, dude.
Literally, and so you go like, you can either kill her or bring the bones to like her lover, and then he can deal with them, and you talk. So you get your bones. I was like, all right, I'll take your bones. I'm not going to kill you. I trust you. I think you're the sad little girl that just happened to die here. And so I bring her bones, and it was on an island. And I like left the island, brought him to her lover, who was still in love with her. Was like really sad about him. Like, look, you gotta let it go. Blah blah blah, stuff like that. Burn the bones. Say you forgive her. Whatever. And so as you leave, you get to like, oh, it's quest complete. Congratulations, here's your experience. And then suddenly you hear like this terrifying scream.
Mm-hmm.
And so you turn around and you go back inside, and it's just like the ghost is there and it just killed the person and then disappears, and you guys just like, well, I guess I shouldn't have done that. And he just like admits that like he just unleashed this deadly ghost into the world.
Can I ask you a very important question?
Yes.
Have you had sex with any girls yet?
I almost text you this. I did my very best. It wasn't my very best not to, but it becomes a very tactical decision for me in video games because I don't know what it's going to do. And I know in this game that it does affect your relationship with other girls, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I was offered it, which you can literally just go with the prostitutes and do it, like GTA, like it's a total possibility to do, I turned it down because I didn't trust the person, and turns out I shouldn't because she like basically was trying to distract me and put me to sleep. And so I didn't trust her. And then another one, I just totally messed up. Did the wrong thing, and she just left the country, left me behind. But I can report to you, Steve, I definitely had sex on the unicorn.
Nice!
That was the one I wanted, and that's the one I got.
My man. How was it? How was she? She good?
Unicorn stays still the whole time.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. You must have been laying there like a log. But it's fun.
We're 18 now, so it's okay to say stuff like that. But the whole point is, this game is, I'm absolutely loving it. I thought Bloodborne was going to be my game of the year. I think Witcher 3 is going to take its spot, Steve.
Oh, no!
I think so. Until Metal Gear Solid comes out and blows it away again, I think I like this game more than Bloodborne, and I love Bloodborne.
It's a good year to be a gamer, bro.
It really is.
Right.
Compared to last year, where it was like struggling, I think I was...
Oh, God, yeah. Last year was bad.
Comparing it like, was it Shadow of Mordor and Dragon's Age, which, by the way, everyone on Reddit for The Witcher just says how this just destroys Dragon Age's world and quests. Well, and just like it just tears it apart, basically.
I had no interest in Dragon Age, so this is good to hear.
Yeah, it's basically, it's a more action oriented. That's more RPG. This is definitely RPG, but it's more action oriented. But that would be my Witcher's rant for today. I'm sure you will hear it next week on the next podcast when I'm going to be playing this for the next.
I'm ready for like 4 or 5 weeks of this shit.
But this time we're going to be just you're going to battle it out with Splatoon. It's going to be Splatoon and Witcher. We're going to go back to Skyping as we play video games because we can't party chat.
That's true. I mean, I could just have my PS4 on in the background. All right. Well, did you get everything in there, Neil, or do you need anything else?
I'm trying to think, Steve. I don't know. I want to talk more about it, but at the same time, I just want it to end so I can go and play it already.
Yeah, and I need to like eat dinner and stuff. And I have a hot date. I have a hot date tonight.
You do. You absolutely do. You know, my hot date's The Witcher. By the way, Steve, did I tell you about the... No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Neil, you bastard. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there then, because we have some stuff to do. Like each other.
Oh!
All right. Let's, oh, God. Let's send this hot dog down the hallway. Thanks for tuning in to the Koalafied Gamer Guys podcast. You can find the podcast every Tuesday on our YouTube channel, except for this week. Every Tuesday on our YouTube channel. If you're listening to it right now, you're here, so hit subscribe. That'd be great. What else? You can follow us on Twitter at QualifiedGGS. Qualified Gamer Guys did not fit. You can follow us on Twitch at QualifiedGamerGuys.com, twitch.tv/QualifiedGamerGuys. You can subscribe or follow or whatever it's called if you'd like to get a little email every time we stream. There should be some streaming soon. Maybe Neil will stream The Witcher if he's not a lazy ass.
I probably should.
Yeah, you probably should. What else we got, Neil?
I think that's it. I think
we got my friend. No. Head over to SoundCloud.com. To SoundCloud.com/GearheadEDM if you like our intro music. That's our friend who makes the sounds of the songs. The sounds of the songs. So if you like the music in the intro, you could go over to the SoundCloud. You find a lot of stuff like it. What else? I got the Twitter. I got the Twitch. I got the YouTube. I think I got it all.
I think you did.
Okay, Neil. Neil's probably starting his PS4 right now.
I'm just booting it up. I'm like
just waiting for the seconds over so you can start. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the 18th Qualified Gamer Guys podcast. We're turning 19 next week, so make sure you tune in and
just wait for the 21st.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna get drunk. All right, boys.
We'll
see you later. Thanks for listening.
See ya.